This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so in our last session, we discussed about the enterprise structure where we created a company code and then we assigned the global parameters to company code like chart of account, fiscal year variant, field status variant, and posting period variant. And we have seen there is no change in the fiscal year variant and field status variant, but when it comes to chart of accounts and the posting period variant, there are some few changes. So in chart of accounts, we when we create a chart of account, we don't have any option to specify whether the cost element should be created manually or automatically because the cost element is now merged within GL. And second change that we have seen is when we were creating the account groups. So even for the secondary cost elements, we need to create an account group now. In ECC, we were not creating the account group for secondary cost elements because those were only created in CO, not in FI. But now they are created in both FI as well as CO, and that is the reason we need to create an account group. So that was a change which was related to chart of account. And in terms of posting period variant, there was one change that instead of 2 period intervals in SAP S4HANA, SAP provides third period interval now. And the purpose of that third period interval is for CO postings, which comes from CO to FI. So earlier, OKP1 transaction was used to control the controlling postings. But now, since even if you post anything in controlling, that will also come to FI. So OKP1 is not enough. We also need to have this OB52 in the third interval. Okay, so that third interval is relevant for postings from CO to FI. Okay, and then we have seen the difference in terms of ledgers. Okay, so now in ledger setting, when we are creating the ledgers, earlier we were only providing the option of the ledger code description, whether the ledger is a leading ledger or a non-leading ledger, and fourth one was the total stable. Now there is no concept of total stable. You don't need to provide any total stable. And in terms of ledger, earlier there were only two types. There were only two types, that is leading ledger, non-leading ledger. But both these type of ledgers were standard ledgers. Okay, so let me open the screen. So if I go to SPRO, let's go to IMG. So in financial settings, again financial accounting global settings, the path is same. Within the ledger, you'll be able to see the ledger, but these activities are different. Within the ledger folder, you will find some of these activities are which are available in ECC are no more available, and there are some new activities. Okay, so if I click on define settings for ledger and currency types, okay, you can see here you have this different ledgers. So you can provide the ledger code, you can provide the ledger number, and you can provide whether it is a leading ledger or not. But apart from this, all these other columns, they were not available in SAP ECC. Okay, so there was only fourth column, which was total stable, and total stable is no more available in S4HANA. And in terms of ledger types, earlier there was only leading, non-leading, but both leading as well as non-leading ledgers were created as standard ledgers. Okay, now there is a new concept of extension ledger. This extension ledger is only available in SAP S4HANA, and this extension ledger would be only for non-leading ledgers. Okay, leading ledger will always be the standard ledger. You cannot create a leading ledger as an extension ledger. Leading ledger will be always the standard ledger, but apart from the leading ledger, whenever you are creating any non-leading ledger, you have a choice whether you want to create it as a standard or you want to create it as an extension ledger. Okay, again, if you are creating it as a standard ledger, no need to specify anything here because these are further classifications of extension ledger. So when you select the extension ledger, then you have to specify whether it is a normal extension ledger or it is a simulation ledger or is it a valuation ledger or this is a prediction and commitment ledger. Okay, so when SAP came up with SAP's S/4HANA's first version, Simple Finance. In that, there were only categories standard ledger and extension ledger. There were not these types. Okay, then in 1610 and 1709, SAP came up with this extension ledger and simulation ledger, only two. Now, only in 1809, just 3-4 months back, when SAP released this new SAP S/4HANA version, they included this prediction and valuation ledger. Okay, so we'll talk about this in detail, but as of now, just remember what are the different four types of extension ledgers, and within the ledger, there are two types, standard ledger and extension ledger. One more thing, whenever you are creating a extension ledger will always contain an underlying ledger. Okay, so this underlying ledger is not required if the ledger is standard. This will be only required if your ledger type is extension. Okay, what is the role, what exactly it will do, we will see when we'll do some transactions. Okay, and then I told you whatever number of ledgers you create, your leading ledger will by default be assigned to each and every company code. So whenever you create a new company code in the system, by default, leading ledger is active. See, if the leading ledger is also not active, then what is the purpose of company code, right? Any company code which you are creating in the system, it has to perform some accounting and it has to perform some accounting principles, right? So at least one accounting principle is by default active for each company code. And that is the reason whenever you create a new company code, by default, leading ledger will be assigned to that company code. But apart from the leading ledger, whatever non-leading ledgers you are able to see here, those are not mandatory. Okay, those are all optional. You can decide which one you want to use for your company code and which one you don't want to use. And that too year specific. So you can say, okay, I want to use ledger IFRS only for 2018 and 19. Starting from 2020, I don't want to use IFRS. Okay, so in other configuration here, you can deactivate a ledger for a company code. So if you go here, let's say I want to deactivate ledger IF from this particular date. So you have to specify 2 year here. Okay, so what will happen when you say 2 year is 2019? This means it will be only applicable till 2019. In 2020, this ledger will not work. Okay, so that is the whole definition of what are ledgers and all. Again, let me go to the screen. Now, in SAP ECC, when we talk about the currencies, there were 3 currencies in total. The first one was the company code currency, and then there were 2 parallel currencies which can be assigned to the company code. Apart from that, there was 4th currency, which was a controlling area currency. But now in SAP S/4HANA, you still have company code currency and you still have, okay, let me just double click on this. Let's go to a particular company code. So let's say our company code is F01. Okay, and here you can see I already shown you last time. So you have a company code currency, you have a controlling area currency. Now in SAP S/4HANA, the number of parallel currencies which were restricted to 2 earlier, we have up to 8 currencies. Okay, so it is not mandatory that you have to use it. It is up to you. Okay, so nobody is saying that you need to use 8 currencies. It is just the additional flexibility which is provided by SAP. If you want to activate it, you can activate it from here. Okay, so let's say whenever you want to add a new currency, let's say I want to add a new currency, I'll go for currency. Now system will give me the list of all the currency types. Again, if you do this thing in SAP ECC also, when you click on F4, system will give you the option of group currency, hard currency, index currency. These are normal 3 options which are available in ECC. But here if you do F4, you may find more number of currencies. Okay, not only hard currency, group currency and all, you may find more number of that, because even you can create your own currency types. In ECC, it was not possible. In ECC, whatever currency types are available, they were provided in standard and you cannot create your own. So normally we were only using hard currency or group currency or index based currency. But here you can create your own currencies. How you can do it? So you can see before you come to the ledger settings, there are 3 activities which are related to the currency types. Okay, so if I want to add a new currency, what I'll do, I'll double click on the currency type. You can see there are a lot of currency types which are not provided by SAP actually. These are currency types many consultants who are practicing on this server have created. Normally, SAP will only provide you the standard currency types, but if you want to create your own, you can easily create. Okay, so whenever you want to create a currency type, again, you will be clicking on a new entry. You just provide the 2-digit character number. This has to be alphanumeric, which means you can have combination of alpha plus numeric, or it can be only numeric, or it can be only alpha also. Okay, so 2-digit code, you can provide a description, a short description, and this is again just for the information purpose. This will not uh, make any difference in terms of the postings. Okay, and one important thing here is this one, set settings for default level. Okay, so here you are specifying that this currency which you are creating, is this going to be based on the company code, or this is going to be based on the global means, for example, if I want to restrict hard currency as USD for all the company codes in the system, it should not happen that if I go to company code A, hard currency is USD, and if I go to company code B, hard currency is Euro. Okay, so you can decide whether you want to keep this currency types as company code specific or global. Okay, so these are all additional flexibilities provided by system. It is not mandatory to use them, but yes, if you come across a situation when there is a need for the customer to create parallel currencies, you can obviously go here and you can create according to the business requirements. Okay, so here is a place where you can create different currency types. If you go to the second one, which is global currency conversion settings. So global currency conversion setting means out of this, there are some currencies which are global and some currencies which are company code specific. So for global currencies, this is a config, and for company code specific, this is a config. Okay, so you can go to global currency conversions, and here you can specifically write the global currency. Okay, so for example, Y1 would be always euro for all the company codes. Okay, Wi-Fi, if you are using currency type, it will be always USD, irrespective of which company you are using, because globally this is defined. Now the question is, why then these currencies are not fixed? These are not fixed because they are based on company code and controlling object. Okay, you cannot change this. These currency types cannot be changed, but they will be based on the company codes that you are creating. Okay, so in short, there are some currencies which are global currencies, and there are some currencies which are company code specific currencies. Okay, so you can see these are some company code specific settings where you can specify for which company code, okay, so which currency types you want to use. Okay, so for example, let's say if I want to go for a new entry, I have to first specify the company code. So let's say our company code is SF01. Okay, and which currency type I want to use. Let's say I want to go for group currency and I want to specify this as USD. Okay, and then normal thing which you are even doing in SAP ECC also. So what would be the source currency type? It would be always the document currency, right? So whenever you are posting the document, that document currency will be converted to the group currency, right? In terms of exchange rate type, normally we were using M, the standard exchange rate type is M. And what would be the translation date? So normally the translation date was, date type was I think it was a translation date, yes. So based on the date on which you are doing the transaction, system will go for that particular date. Okay, so just press enter. Now you can use this currency 30 in your company code. Okay, so let's try to save this. These are just the warning message. There should not be any red mark. If there is any red mark, then the system will not allow you to save this. Okay, so just click on save. Okay, and finally, now if I come to ledger, and within ledger, if I go to 0L, which is our standard ledger, leading ledger, go to company code settings in SF01. What I can do now, if I do F4 now, you can see this 30 has been added. Earlier, this was not appearing because only global currencies were appearing. Now we added a company code specific currency for our company code SF01, and that is the reason we are able to see this option here. So just double click on this, press enter, system will automatically pick the data. This is the same message that you were even getting in SAP ECC also when you try to create a new currency for your company code. Okay, so you can see this information has been copied. If you want to see more information, you can see this is a currency type, this is a source currency type, this is the exchange rate type, this is a translation date type, whether it is a real-time conversion or the conversion will happen after that. Okay, so normally we go for the real-time conversion only. Is there any deviation in CO? I'll talk about this deviation in CO, deviation in AA, deviation in material. So we will talk about these things, but as of now, just remember you can add up to 8 currencies, and the currency types are also user defined. You can create the currency types as company code specific, or you can create it as a global. Okay, just click on save. Okay, so any question till now? And last thing I'd shown you accounting principles. So which means if you are creating your ledger, so you have to specify this ledger represents which accounting principle. So what we are telling to the system is 0L means India GAAP, IF means IFRS. Okay, so if I want to know the IFRS reporting, system will know that okay, if you are looking for IFRS reporting, you should go for ledger IF, and if you are using for India GAAP reporting, you should go to ledger 0L. Okay, that is just for the representation purpose. And the last thing that we also discussed that day is what exactly is this tick? What do you mean by parallel accounting using GL accounts? So if you remember, I told you parallel accounting using GL accounts means the in SAP ECC, if you are having the requirement of India GAAP and IFRS, but let's say you are not using new GL accounting. So in that case, companies traditionally they used to create different accounts. Okay, so same account, let's say for example, if it's the asset account, there will be two separate asset accounts created, one for your India GAAP and second is for your IFRS. And whenever you want to do the reporting, you will include those particular accounts based on the accounting principle. That is called as an account-based approach, which is called as parallel accounting using GL accounts. But if you are not using parallel accounting using GL accounts, we are using parallel accounting using different ledgers, and that is the reason we are not ticking here. Now, who will tick here? Obviously, if more advanced features like ledgers are available, nobody would like to create the GLs, right? But I will tell you in which case customers will need this parallel accounting using GL accounts. The customers who are currently using classic GL accounting, okay, very old customers, they are still not using new GL accounting, although new GL accounting is more than 15 years old now, more than 13 years old. But still the customers are using classic GL accounting and they only have one ledger. And they are already doing the parallel accounting using GL accounts. So even if they want to come to SAP S/4HANA, okay, and they want to continue using the same thing that they are using in SAP ECC on classic GL accounting, only those customers would like to go with parallel accounting using GL accounts. Okay, let me add one real-time scenario which Akash was discussing me with yesterday. Akash was about to he actually was working on one proposal where customer asked what exactly will be the changes in SAP new GL accounting compared to classic GL accounting, and what will happen if I go to SAP S/4HANA without activating new GL accounting. Right, Akash? That was one slide that you put in yesterday. Are you there, Akash?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So let me tell you, let me again confirm what I said, which will be helpful for others also whenever they come across this situation. Okay, please understand what I'm saying here. Although I'm going to talk about this topic in detail, but let me just give you some real-time scenario. So let's say you are working on, let's say, a customer is already using SAP ECC system, but he is not using new GL accounting. He is using classic GL accounting. Now, when we say classic GL accounting, this means only one ledger. Okay, so customer is, what he is doing is he is doing parallel accounting using GL accounts, which is also called as account-based approach. Okay, now if this customer wants to migrate to SAP S/4HANA, now customer wants to upgrade his system to S/4HANA. He in SAP S/4HANA he will get two options. Option number one is first migrate to new GL accounting and then to S/4HANA accounting. Okay, the second option is directly migrate to S/4HANA accounting without activating new GL accounting. Okay, so what will happen in the first case? If customer migrates to new GL accounting first, he will introduce more ledgers. Okay, so he will go away from parallel accounting using GL accounts and he will be using parallel ledgers. Okay, and then move to SAP S/4HANA. So if he is following the first option, which is the recommended option, so customer would be able to use parallel ledgers instead of parallel GL accounts, which was the old functionality. But if he directly goes to SAP S/4HANA accounting without activating the new GL accounting, so even in SAP S/4HANA also, this customer has to use only one ledger and he has to follow the account-based approach. So this option is for those customers who are directly planning to migrate to S/4HANA accounting. They don't want to first go to new GL accounting and then to S4. They want to first go to SAP S/4HANA accounting and later on they will decide whether they want to activate new GL accounting or not. Right? So in those scenarios, this tick is very important because when we are configuring the system, we have to indicate or we have to tick this indicator just to tell the system that this customer is although going to SAP S/4HANA accounting, but he still wants to use one ledger. He just want to use parallel accounting using GL accounts. Okay, any questions till now before I go to the next one?
So Gaurav, Sandeep here.
Yes, Sandeep.
So this option is only coming for leading ledger, or you
Yeah.
can see this tick for the non-leading, that means extension ledger.
No, see, logically, Sandeep, when we are saying there is only one ledger, this option will be taken when there is only one ledger. And if there is only one ledger, it is obviously going to be leading ledger, right?
Yeah, that is logically that is correct. Yeah. So, but is it available in extension?
Yes, although it is, let's see if it is available or not, but it is completely illogical, right? Even if it is available, yeah, it is available, but we don't need this. When we are saying that parallel accounting using GL accounts, this itself means that we are not going to create multiple ledgers. We are only going to create one ledger, and that ledger will be used for all the different accounting principles. Okay, so yes. So as I told you, logically, if you go, there is only one leading ledger which will be created if you are ticking this indicator. Other ledgers will even not be created. See, this is a taste system. Somebody has created a lot of ledgers, but when you are actually migrating the system from classic GL accounting, you will not be able to see any ledgers at all. It will just show you one single ledger, that is nothing but 0L.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so now let me take you to the next step. So now we understood what are ledgers, what are currency settings. So there are a lot of new things here in the ledger concept. Now let's try to go into controlling. Okay, so we set up the enterprise structure from the FI perspective. Now let's try to set up it from the CO perspective. So I'll go to controlling. Okay, general controlling, organization, maintain controlling area. So same path that we were using in ECC. Even if you want to create a controlling area, again, you will be going to the new entry and you will be specifying this one SF01. Okay, so whatever you want to create, this is just for example. And I'm currently, let's say I'm using controlling area, same as company code. So again, the same thing that in ECC also you have these two options. So when you create a controlling area, system asks you whether this controlling area will be shared with multiple company codes or this is going to be one-to-one. Okay, so as of now, I'm saying one-to-one. I will be selecting the currency type here. So currency type, if you are using controlling area same as company code, it will only give you one option. If you select cross company code controlling area, system will give you the controlling area option, cost object option. So there will be multiple options available. So let's use this. System has automatically determined that for this particular company code, you assign the currency as INR, a chart of account as SF01, and fiscal year variant as V3. Okay, and again, similar to ECC, it is asking you cost center standard hierarchy, which will be used for creating the cost centers. So again, let's say if I'm providing this SF01 and press enter, everything is same. See, again, in ECC also you have the same thing. So if I click on yes, system will create this SF01 also in the background. Okay, so just click on save. Again, I'm pressing yes. So our controlling area is created, but we need to perform two other things also, which is first one, we need to specify we need to assign the company codes to this controlling area. So let's go to the new entry and specify SF01. Okay, so this is the first thing. And second thing, we need to activate the components. Okay, so in CO, we know there are a lot of components like cost center accounting, profit center accounting, profitability analysis, product costing, internal orders. There are a lot of things, right? So we need to specify which components are active. So I'm doing this from 2018. Okay, and as of now, let's say I'm just activating the cost center accounting component. All these components I'm not activating as of now. So just click on save. Common thing, even in ECC also you'll get this indicator. Okay, so the controlling area has now been created and it has been assigned to the company codes and even the components are now active. Okay, let's go to the next one now. So if I created a controlling area, the next thing I must do is
Gaurav,
yes,
can you go to the main screen again, the controlling area screen?
controlling area screen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go to that, our controlling area. So what is that field? Hide controlling area in F4 in other settings. Is that a new field?
Yes. I'll come back to you on this. There are some fields, but I don't want to get confused here. I'll tell you this one.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay, maybe if you ask, let's see. This is if I go for F1. So what it is saying is no, it is not giving you any information. So it is just for hiding when you do the F4, which means when you do the list of values, whether you want to show this value or not. But I'll show you during the transactions. Okay.
Oh, okay.
You may find, see, when you go through the screens, there are some places where you may find new fields or some of the fields are not available. But I'm just focusing on the important fields which were not available earlier and which has a huge difference in SAP S/4HANA. Okay, so let me go back. Save the changes, no. Okay, so normally once we create the controlling area, we have this option of maintain number ranges for controlling, that is KA and K, and we maintain the versions. So let's complete this, then we will talk about the other things. Let's go to the maintain number ranges. So this is our controlling area, which is SF01. So instead of uh, doing it from scratch, what I normally even do in the projects also is I copy from 0001 to SF01. Instead of creating all the number ranges from scratch, I'm just copying it from 0001 to SF01. So now if I go for SF01 and click on intervals, see this has been copied from 0001. Okay, and the last one is maintain the versions. So normally this 0 version is something which we use for posting the values from FI to CO. Okay, and let me see if there is anything else that we need to enter here. No, I think this is enough. Let's come out. Now this is something that you will not find in SAP ECC. Define ledger for CO version. Okay, define ledger for CO version. Let me give you the background of this activity. See, when we were working on SAP ECC, normally when we say primary postings or primary cost element postings, to be very specific. So what do you mean by primary cost element postings? Is when you do any transaction in FI, it flows into CO. Okay. Now, let's say you are doing the transaction in leading ledger and you are doing the transaction in IFRS also. In FI, you have two ledgers, 0L and IF. Now, when these postings will go from FI to CO, can you tell me the postings will go from ledger 0L or they will go from IFRS or they will go from both? I'm asking you from ECC perspective. In ECC, whenever we post anything in FI, it also goes to CO. Now in ECC, if I have two ledgers, 0L and IFRS, if I do any postings here, this will go to both the ledgers. So now if they are going to both the ledgers, what will happen to CO? In CO also, do we have ledgers? Do we have ledgers in CO?
No, Gaurav.
In
So
CO,
whatever posting is, yes.
okay, so what do you think? Values from 0L will go to CO or values from IF will go to CO?
No, 0L. By default, 0L value will go to the CO. So I hope this is a new addition. We can choose the what ledger should impact in controlling area.
Okay, yes. So in SAP ECC, it is only possible to send the values from leading ledger to CO. Okay, so even if you want to send IFRS values, even if you want to send any values from any other ledger to CO, that is not possible in SAP ECC because it is always taking the values from the leading ledger. Only leading ledger, this is very specifically written in the new GL document also of SAP ECC, only leading ledger can transport the values from FI to CO. No other ledger has capability to pick the values from FI and post it into the CO in terms of SAP ECC. But now when we are talking about SAP S/4HANA, we can decide what values can go from FI to CO, which ledgers will post from FI to CO. So similar to ledgers in FI, in CO we have different versions. Okay, this is also available in ECC. We have different versions. So we can say, let's say we create version 0 and we create version 9. So we can tell the system that whatever we post in 0L, in CO it should go to version 0, and whatever we post to version IF, in CO it should be posted to version 9. Okay, So this particular thing again was not available in SAP ECC. In SAP ECC, this was default and there was no configuration to do this. It was by default in the system. Only leading ledger 0L was posting the values to version 0, CO version 0, and there was no other version which was taking the values from FI. Okay, but now since this thing is possible, system is asking you, you want which ledger to post the versions in which CO version. So at least one entry is mandatory here, that is your leading ledger. If I click on new entry, so for controlling area SF01, okay, version 0 of CO will take the values from leading ledger, that is 0L. Okay, so this entry is mandatory. If you don't do this, system will not allow you to post anything. This is a new configuration and this is must configuration, without which system will not allow you to go ahead and create any postings in FI and CO. Okay, so just click on save and this is done. So this is called as define ledger for CO version. So which CO version will take the values from which ledger you can define here. Okay. Now this is also something which was also available in SAP ECC, but it was not directly available here. This is subsequent assignment of controlling area. So for example, when you created a company code, it was not assigned to any controlling area. But now after doing a lot of transactions in company code, if you want to assign it to the controlling area with the previous postings also, in that case, this is not a very straightforward job. This has to be done by the SAP support. Okay, so just forget about this as of now. This is, in short, a complete different project to activate the controlling area subsequently. Okay, it is just like subsequent document splitting, which is also the new GL functionality, which itself is a project. Okay, so just don't worry about this. This was even possible in SAP ECC also, but the folder was not available in between here. But this is something which is completely new, which was not available in SAP ECC, which is only available in S/4HANA. Okay, so let's go out from here now. So we now created a controlling area with number ranges and versions. Let's close this also. And now maybe I think we are ready to create some master data. Okay, we will again come to the configuration related to the transactions when we will do the transaction. But let's now see what are the changes in the GL master. Okay, so what I'll do is I will go to transaction FS00, which was a transaction that we were using even in SAP ECC also. If you just go to FS00, this is the same, almost same transaction. There will be a lot of changes here, which we'll talk about, but look and feel is almost same. Like you have a type description, you have a control data, so even the tabs and all are exactly same. But if I want to create a cost element, so we were using this transaction KA01. So if I press enter, it is also going to take you to the same transaction, that is FS00. So even if I go for K01, if I press enter, it will take me to FS00 because KA01, which was related to creation of cost element, is not available separately. Okay, it has been merged with FS00. Okay, and now if I want to create a new GL, yes, any question? There was some background noise.
Yes, yes, Gaurav, Sandeep here.
Yes.
So right now also there have no option for creating GL account under chart of account, right? Through I think SP01 transaction code.
No, sorry. Can you come again, Sandeep?
So right now there is no option for creating GL account under chart of account.
No, that options are available. So you can still go.
Okay.
You mean to say this GL account, this transaction FSP0. So you can create at the chart of account level.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
This is not changed. So even in ECC also we have two segments for GL account, chart of account segment and company code segment. So that still remains same. Only thing is separate transaction to maintain the cost element is no more required. Okay, so cost elements are merged within the GL. That is the change. So let's again go to FS00 and let's try to create a new GL account. Okay, so I think we used 4 characters, 1 3 times 0, starting with 1 3 times 0 where we created the account groups. So let's say I want to use 2000 for our company code, which is SF01. Okay, and let's click on new. I want to create a new GL. Now system is asking me, the first field it is asking me is to provide a GL account type. Do you think this SAP ECC to specify the GL account type? What do you think? This field was available in ECC?
No.
It was not there, right? System was directly asking us the account group. It was not asking for GL account type. This GL account type, this GL account type is a new field and it has 4 values, out of which you have to select the proper value. Okay, so the first one is non-operating expenses or income. Okay, let's read out all 4 and then I'll tell you the difference. Second one is primary cost or revenue. Third one is secondary cost, and fourth one is balance sheet account. So in short, all your balance sheet accounts, whenever you are creating any new GL for balance sheet account, we will always use this balance sheet account. And as I told you, also in SAP S4HANA, whenever you are creating the secondary cost elements, you need to create a GL account, right? So whenever you want to create a GL account for secondary cost elements, you have to use this. Okay, so you have to go for secondary cost whenever you are creating a secondary cost element. Now remaining two, both are relevant to expenses. You can see this is also expense and income, this is also cost or revenue. So expense is cost, income is revenue. So there is no difference, right? Primary or non-operating. Only difference is whenever you create a GL account, if you are creating the cost element, see when you create a profit and loss GL account, in some of the cases, you don't need to create a cost element out of it. It is not mandatory for all the GL accounts, all the profit and loss GL accounts to create a cost element. There are some GL accounts which are non-operating. Non-operating means those will not go to CO. They will only remain in FI. Okay, so for example, cost of goods sold. So cost of goods sold, normally we don't create any cost element of it. Scrap sales, even scrap sales is something which is our non-operating income. Okay, so there are some GL accounts for which we create them as expense or revenue accounts, but we don't create the cost element for it. Okay, so if you want to create a cost element for profit and loss account, you have to select this. If you don't want to create the cost element for profit and loss accounts, you have to select this non-operating expense or income. So these two are relevant for profit and loss. This is relevant for secondary cost element, and this is relevant for balance sheet accounts. So based on what exactly you are creating, you will be selecting the proper account type. Okay, so let's say for example, I will go with balance sheet account because 2000 is my, let's say, cash account. Account group, this is the same functionality of SAP ECC where you have to provide the account group based on which system will determine the number range, and it will also determine the what is that? The field control, like which fields will be mandatory, which fields will be optional. So obviously this account group, according to the logics that I created, I will go for balance sheet. For secondary cost, I will go to this secondary cost. For profit and loss, I'll go to PL. So let's go with this balance sheet. Now system is telling me account group BS only defined for accounts from 100 to 299. So mistakenly I took this 2000. Actually, system is only allowing me 3 characters. So let me again go back to FS00. So instead of 2000, let's make it as 200. Okay, so click on new. GL account type is balance sheet account. Account group is going to be balance sheet. And here you will be providing the whatever bank details. Let's say this is my bank account. Okay, let's go to the control data now. Now in control data, account currency, balance in local currency, there are a lot of things which are as it is. There is no change. Open item management, even this was available in SAP ECC also, but there was one more field, line item display. Okay, do you remember line item display? There is no line item display here. Okay, in SAP S/4HANA for any GL account, you cannot click on line item display. What is the reason? Okay, before I tell you what is the reason, can you tell me what was the purpose of that field? For which GL accounts we were ticking that indicator and for which GL accounts we were not ticking it? Question is, line item display indicator was available in ECC here. What was the purpose of that? Anyone, please try to answer. Just make it interactive, because otherwise if I keep on speaking, you may not be able to grasp the things. Prashant, you are very silent. Please answer this. Just try to answer. Yes, Prashant.
Yeah, could you repeat the question once more, please?
Prashant, my question is, there was in ECC, when we were creating the GL account, there was open item management and there was one more field called as line item display.
Yeah, line item display, yeah.
Yeah, what was the purpose of that field?
Line item display. As of now, can't reproduce it, but actually I'm aware of open item management.
Okay, no problem. So I was just looking whether you are active on the call or not. No problem.
No.
Okay, okay. So Mahesh, Sandeep, Akash, Varun, anyone, please try to answer this. I don't think this is very difficult question, right? All of you are working from many years in SAP ECC. So what is line item display?
I think system will show line-wise display.
Sorry, Akash?
I think system will show line-wise display.
Where it will show?
Sorry?
Where you will be able to see line item display? In which report?
In report, FBL like FBL 1 and 3N and 5N.
Yes. Okay. So normally this is relevant for FBL 3N, because FBL 1N and 5N is not for GL, it is for vendor and customer. So for vendor and customer, line item display is always on. But this tick is for FBL 3N, to control FBL 3N. So if you don't tick that indicator, line item display, and if you go to transaction FBL 3N, and if you want to see all the line items posted in this GL account, you will get an error, line item display is not active for this GL. Right? Now, why SAP has provided this option? Why not for all the GL accounts line item display was on? Any idea? Why SAP was saying you have to tick this indicator if you want to go for line item display, otherwise it is not recommended for all GL accounts. Why it was not recommended for all GL accounts? Just a guess why it was not recommended for all GL accounts. Just try to go back to our first session.
Because of the ledgers?
Sorry?
Because of the ledgers?
No, not exactly ledgers. In the first session, what we discussed, it was performance, speed, right? And what we discussed is more data, less speed. Okay. So if you have many lines,
Storage requirement, right?
Yes, storage. So if you have many lines available in your tables, let's say if you want to see FBL 3N in the lines, then obviously you have to tick that indicator. But that means that much number of line items will be stored in the table, which will consume your memory and your reports will become slow. And that is the reason SAP recommended that line item display should be only activated if you have a need to see the line item display report. It was not recommended for accounts like AR, AP. Why? Because AR and AP, anyways, you will be able to see the vendor-wise and customer-wise line items. So unnecessarily in FBL 3N, you don't need to set up that for the reconciliation accounts. So the whole purpose was just try to reduce the number of line items which are getting stored in the table and to improve the performance. But now, when we are talking about SAP HANA database, we already discussed those all kind of restrictions are gone. Because HANA database is very fast, even if you have billions of lines, it will not make any difference. Because we are using column-based data storage, we are using calculation engine, if you remember all those points that we discussed. And that is the reason SAP said, no worries, line item display will be active for all GLs going forward. So you don't need to specify whether the line item display is active or not. It will be by default active for all the GL accounts. Okay.
Okay.
Now, yeah, any question on line item display? Have you understood why it was available in ECC and why it is not available in S4HANA?
Gaurav, in ECC, like which type of accounts we don't keep this indicator on? Any idea?
Normally the reconciliation accounts, customer vendor reconciliation accounts. Why? Because see, customer vendor reconciliation means what? The reconciliation account that is assigned to the customer master. So let's say there is one GL account 1000, okay, which is assigned to 10 customers. And whenever you post anything to this customer, the customer line items are already there in FBL file. So unnecessarily, again, if you activate it for the GL, there will be line items for customers creating separately and the line items which are getting created for GL separately. So in order to avoid that space, SAP was recommending that don't activate line item display for reconciliation accounts.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and it was must for clearing accounts, all the different types of clearing accounts, GRIR clearing account, check clearing account, bank clearing accounts. So for all the clearing accounts, it was must. Line item display as well as open item management, we were taking it for all the type of clearing accounts. Okay, so open item management is available as it is. There is no change. But there is a new field called as clearing specific to ledger groups. What do you mean by this now? Clearing specific to ledger groups. Okay, let me explain. I'm not expecting the answer on this. So this is the same functionality as open item management. Okay, so whether open item management is active or not, this question is for the leading ledger. Okay, so for open item management, if you tick here, it will be only activated for the leading ledger. But for the non-leading ledgers, if you want to specify whether the open item management or clearing is allowed or not, you have to tick this indicator if you want to allow for the non-leading ledgers also. You can see it is specific to the ledger groups. Okay, so that is the only difference between open item management and clearing specific to the ledger group. Next one is sorting key, authorization, group, clerk, abbreviation. I think this all three things were available. Yes.
Please repeat again this point, open item management and clearing specific to ledger group.
Okay, let's go through these wordings, okay, to understand in detail if the wordings are provided. So open item management, you already know what is open item management. So you can see it is, yes, normally for bank clearing, cash discount clearing, GRIR clearing account, we use this open item management, right? So normally we use this F.13 transaction to automatically clear the GL accounts. So that is open item management. Now, if you see this, which is clearing specific to ledger groups. Okay, so this is mainly for the other ledgers apart from the leading ledger. So determines whether the postings can be made to the account for specific ledger group and whether the account can be cleared. Okay, so let's see if the example is provided. The indicator is only available when you have activated the new GL accounting and you have assigned more than one ledger to the company code. Okay, so in short, again, you can see here also, if you want to set this clearing specific to ledger group indicator, you need to have set the only balances in local currency indicator, and it is not permitted for only automatic postings to be made an account with clearing specific to ledger group. So all the properties are same as open item clearing. Only difference is that this open item management is mainly for your leading ledger, and this one is relevant for your other ledgers if you are using more than one ledger in your company code. Okay. If you have time, we can maybe let's go through this completely to understand end to end. So you can use clearing specific to ledger groups if you perform parallel accounting using the ledger approach. Obviously, if you are using accounts approach, then there is obviously only one ledger. Clearing and making posting specific to ledger group is intended to support you with the closing task. Okay, you can use this function for all items that due to parallel accountings are posted to different multiple ledgers, in particular for provisions and all. Okay, if you set this indicator for the account, this account is then managed as an open item basis, and you can post ledger group specific entries to this account. In this way, you have a ledger group specific view of accounts. Clearing is also performed for specific ledger group. So just read this line once again and you will get the answer. So it is open item basis and you can post ledger group specific entries to this account. Okay, so in short, just a simple explanation to this is, it is just like the open item management, but normally when you click on this open item management, it is only for the leading ledger, but this will be for other non-leading ledgers. Okay, then let's go to create bank interest. Again, you will not find any change. You have to specify the field status group. So this one is bank. I will just go with this G005. Keyword translation, no change. Information, no change. Information, no change. Okay, so just click on save, and then I will show you some more scenarios in which there are changes in the GL accounts, more than this what we are seeing. Okay, so let me go back once again and let me create one expense GL account. So now I'm creating expense GL account with coding as 400. Click on new. Now this is expense GL account. So can you tell me which one I should use? What should be the account type?
Primary cost.
Primary cost, yes. Because if I want to send the values posted to this GL account to controlling, I will use primary cost. If I want to use this account only in FI, I don't want to send anything from FI to CO, then I will be using non-operating expense or income. So let's go with primary cost or revenue. In the account group, I have to specify the proper account group. In my case, it is profit and loss. And let's say this is refreshment expenses, or maybe insurance, or maybe let's say rent expenses. Okay, so this is nothing but rent expense. If you remember, yes, question? Okay, Prashant, can you just mute yourself if you don't have any question? There was some background noise.
Yeah, one moment.
Okay. Okay, so rent expenses, if you remember in SAP ECC, whenever we were creating any GL account, and if for this GL account, we need to send the data to CO. So there was a button here, edit cost element. Okay, in which we were providing the cost element category. 01 for expenses and 11 for revenues, and for secondary there were multiple different item categories, cost element categories which are available, right? But now there is no button for edit cost element. Okay, so what will happen now? Let's see. So if I click on control data, okay, in the control data you can see that field has come here, cost element category, because there is no separate master data for cost element. The fields are moved from there to here. So the fields related to the cost element are available here. So I have to specify the cost element category here itself. So primary cost. Okay, so all those categories which are available in KA01 or when you were trying to click on edit cost element, all those categories are available here in this screen. Okay, otherwise everything is same. So these were also available in ECC in the controlling when you create the cost element. But just remember one thing, that this fields will become active only when you are selecting this primary cost or revenue or even secondary cost. So which means when you want to create a cost element also. Okay, so for example, when you are creating non-operating expense or income, you'll be only creating a GL. You are not creating the cost element. So this fields will not come. This fields will not be visible at all. But this will be only visible when you are selecting either primary cost or secondary cost. Okay, because for balance sheet and non-operating, we don't need cost element. So that is the reason it will not ask you for cost element categories. Okay, let's go to create bank interest, no change. So for expense account, let's go with the cost accounts and let's try to save this. Okay, so in terms of GL, the very important difference that we have seen is there is a new field called as account type. There is no edit cost element button. In case of primary cost or secondary cost, in the control data, there will be the new field which will be called as cost element category. Okay, so that field has been moved from KA01 to here. Now, was there any more information that we were entering in the edit cost element? When we were clicking on edit cost element, there was one option of account assignments, default account assignments, if you remember. So when you create a cost element, you can provide what would be my default cost center, what would be my default internal order. Do you remember that? Anybody who remembers that? And what was the purpose of that default account
Yes,
assignment?
Gaurav. Yes, and
Yes, Sandeep.
also the field like validation time range from this date or this year to this year. I hope.
Validity. Yes, validity. Yes. So when we were creating the
Yes.
cost element, system was asking us this cost element is valid from which date to which date, and it was also asking us the default account assignments, which are not mandatory, but you can maintain those. Okay. So first of all, there is no validity anymore. Cost elements validity is gone. There is no valid from. There is no valid to. And second is even the default account assignments. Like if you want to assign that whenever I'll be posting in this GL account 400, by default this cost center should be picked or this internal order should be picked. That was maintained in edit cost element. So even that option is gone. So now we cannot tell the system that for this GL account 400, we want to default this cost center and in this internal order from create cost element or change cost element screen. Can you tell me which is the other place in SAP where we can maintain the default account assignments? Very common. Based on a particular GL, if I want to default the cost center, which is that field, which is that screen in SAP ECC?
No, BY6.
BY6, no?
OKB9.
OKB9,
Okay.
yes. Yes, OKB9. So OKB9 is a default account assignment screen, which is still available. So in ECC, there were two options. Option number one, you provide this information in the cost element, or you provide this information in OKB9. Now, in SAP S/4HANA, there is only one place where you can maintain the default account assignments, and that is OKB9 because the earlier one is completely gone. Okay. Also, when you will be working on the conversion project means what? When customer is already using SAP ECC and he wants to migrate to SAP S/4HANA, so during the migration, all the cost elements will be created as GL accounts, and whatever information, whatever default account assignments are available for the cost elements, they will automatically move to OKB9. Okay, so just remember, in ECC, there were two places where we were defining the default account assignments. First one was in the cost element master data, and second one was in OKB9. In S/4HANA, no more cost element master data related default account assignments. Those are only maintained in OKB9. Okay, so let's go back. OKB9 is still available, and this is also saved. So let me show you one more thing. So for example, if I go for GL account 201, which I'm creating for cash account. So if I click on new, and if I go to type description, account type is balance sheet, account group is balance sheet. Let's say this is my cash account. Now if I go to control data, and if I try to find cost element category, it is not available. Okay, why it is not available? Because cost element category is only applicable for primary cost or secondary cost, not for non-operative expenses, not for balance sheet account. Okay, so let's go to control data once again. So all these things are same, no change. Let's go to create bank interest tab. Again, no change. Everything, most of the things, may not be each and everything, but most of the things are same. Most of the important things at least are same. I'm just checking if there is anything else that I need to explain here. So sort and all is okay. Okay, just one more thing. I'm just trying. No problem. So I'll explain you this when we'll be talking about the asset accounting. So as of now, just forget about this. And now, just to summarize what we discussed is GL account and cost element has been merged. So you cannot create a cost element using transaction KA01. It has to be created using transaction FS00. If you try KA01, it will automatically redirect you to FS00. When you create a GL account, the first thing system will ask you is account type. There are 4 different account types, one for balance sheet, one for secondary cost, and 2 for profit and loss. First one with cost element, second one without cost element. Okay, and based on what you are selecting here, the system will behave. System will ask you cost element category if you are selecting primary cost or revenue, or secondary cost if you are selecting balance sheet or non-operating expenses. In that case, that indicator will not come at all. Okay, and there is no edit cost element button here. Even no default account assignment can be maintained from here. It has to be maintained only using transaction OKB9. Okay, so this was about creation of master data. Okay, now let's do some remaining settings so that we are able to see some transactions. So I'll go to SPRO and we'll see if there is something else which we need to maintain. Definitely there are a lot of things, like we need to talk about the tolerances, we need to talk about the number ranges, but there are no changes there. So I'll be a little bit faster. So let's go to financial accounting global settings. Let's go to the document, and within the document there is one new thing. So if I go for document types, functionality as it is, if you double click on the document type, whatever you are able to see, that is also same. Only thing is there is a new field added here called as secondary cost. Okay, and this is you know the answer why it is added. It is just added because you want to use this secondary postings also will come to FI via the document types. Okay, and one more thing, spatial usage for BI only. Okay, which means, let's say if you want to use a particular document type, and as I told you, there is BI functionality is also embedded within the main system. Okay, so let's say you want to use a particular document type which will be only used for the BI purpose, then you have to tick this indicator. So SAP has already provided the standard document types which will be using secondary cost and which will be using BI only. Let me show you. Let's go back. Okay, so this one, CO posting. This document type is not available in SAP ECC. You'll be able to see A, B, AF, AN. CH is again new, we'll talk about that. DA, DG, DR, DZ, most of the things you will always find KA, KG and all. But this is something which is completely new, document type CO. Now if you go here, you can see this is only for controlling postings. What do you mean by controlling postings? This means this document type will be used only for CO postings, secondary postings and primary postings which are related to the CO object. Okay, so for example, if I give you the example here, let's say what documents you post in CO, you perform the uh, distributions, you perform the assessments, you do the settlements. Okay, so in system, all these documents were created in CO earlier and there was nothing affected in FI. But now if you remember, I told you CO and FI are going to be stored in one table, which means whatever postings you make in CO, they will also go to Universal Journal Table, AC Doc A. And when it will come to AC Doc A, it will definitely have a proper number, it will have a document type, and that is the reason the document type that we will be using for controlling related postings is CO. So this is the new document type which is provided by SAP. We'll talk about this when we'll do the transactions. I'll show you this document type CO. Also, this will also come into the picture. If you already worked on new GL accounting, you will not find anything new here, but if not, we will talk about what is this different document types in Ledger. Let's go to the document number ranges. Okay, so we definitely need to have a document number range. Again, I will copy it from 0001 in our company code, that is SF01. Okay, so number ranges has been copied. Let's go back. What else we need? We definitely need the tolerances, right? Without which system will not allow us to post any document. So define tolerance group for employee. I will again just copy this 0001, no change. This is as it is in ECC, and I'll just change the company code to SF01. Okay, so I'm assuming these are the old things which you already know. Any particular screen, if you are not comfortable or you worked on this screen but you don't know why we do this, please stop me and maybe I'll explain you what exactly are these configurations. Okay, because these are the old configurations, I assume that you already know this. Okay, let's go back. So tolerance is also done. Number ranges are also done. Now let's try to create a simple document and see what errors we are getting and how to solve those errors. So for posting the document, I can again go to normal FB50 transaction. Let's go to FB50 and enter the document date. Let's say today's date. Okay, first of all, we need to change the company code. So clicking on this company code option, going to SF01. Document date 16/01/2019. Reference I'm just putting is as test here. This is also, let's say, test. GL accounts. So we created two GL accounts, one for expense and second for bank. So we will debit the expense account and credit the bank account. So rent expense debit indicator with amount, let's say 1000, and credit would be this GL account, which is bank account. Okay, so credit posting of another 1000. So please enter. Yes, so account 400 requires assignment to the CO object. This is a normal issue that you will also find in SAP ECC, which means system is asking you to create a CO object, to provide the CO object. Okay, so what is a CO object? It can be cost center, it can be internal order, it can be any account assignment object. But we have still not created any controlling object. We have still not created a cost center and profit center and all. So quickly, let's create one cost center, maybe profit center we will add later on, just to go ahead with this document. So same transaction, KS01 to create a cost center. So let's say this is SF01/1 and this is valid from 01/01/2019. Okay, you will not find any change here. So this is my test cost center. Person responsible, let's make it as manager. Cost center category, let's keep it as maybe administration. Hierarchy area, by default SF01, which we created at the time of creation of controlling area. Okay, and currency is INR. Let's click on save. So cost center has been created now. Let's use this cost center here, SF01-1. Okay, now there is another error. Version 0 is not defined for fiscal year 2018. So this is a controlling area setting which we have done. We created a version 0. So let's see what is the problem. SPRO, IMG, controlling, general controlling, organization, maintain the versions, and 0 version for settings for each fiscal year. Yes, it is not maintained, I think. It is starting from 2019. Okay, so let's click on new entry, and or maybe if there is option of copy as. Okay, let's go ahead with this 2018. I'm just making the same settings and click on save. Why it is asking this as a mandatory field? Some mandatory field is there, so let's do one thing. Let's go out completely from here. Cancel. SPRO. Controlling, right? Controlling, general controlling, organization, and maintain versions. So for 0, let's go to fiscal year, this one, and let's copy this to 2018. Okay, and save. Perfect. Let's try to enter once again. I think, yeah, now there is another error. An entry is required in validate field for account. This is a straightforward error that you will get also in ECC because of field status of this DL account. Okay, so value date is mandatory field. So 16/01/2018. Let's press enter. Now it seems to be green, and let's try to post it. Okay, so when you are trying to post, system is throwing this error. Correct the customizing settings for ledgers for universal journal, which means configuration is still not complete. There are some steps which might be still missing. Okay, and this is a normal error you will get, which is not telling you what exactly is wrong. It is just telling you there is something wrong. So if you want to know what exactly is wrong, just click on this view details, click on close. It will provide you 2 programs. Okay, so in order to know what is wrong, it is providing you 2 programs. You should always click on the second program. I'll tell you why. If you click on this program, it will tell you whatever inconsistencies are there in all the company codes, not only on your company codes. Okay, but if you want to know what is wrong with my company code, which I'm trying to post now, SF01, so I can directly go here. So initially when Simple Finance came, maybe till 1610, there was only this program available, and it was very difficult for us that if we have 100 companies and system is throwing us all the errors, it is very difficult to find what is wrong with our company code. Okay, and now SAP has provided this program which is only specific for a particular company code and ledger. So if you click on this, it will tell you what is wrong with your company code. So what it is saying is, correct the customizing settings. See, these settings are okay, so these are all green, but there is something wrong. The wrong is, this is again the normal error. and this is the actual error. Document splitting is active in company code SF01. Activate the profit center accounting and controlling area SF01. So I think in this system, somebody has activated the document splitting for a profit center label, and that is the reason profit center is must. Okay, so this is again not a new error. Even in SAP ECC, if you activate the document splitting and if you don't provide the profit center, you will get this error. Okay, so anyways, we need to activate the profit center. So let's go back. Let's go to transaction KE51. But before we maintain the profit center, we need to activate the profit center accounting. Okay, so how we activate profit center accounting? Same steps as in ECC. So it will be under controlling, profit center accounting, general controlling, organization, maintain controlling area. Sorry, am I correct? No, just give me a minute. Profit center accounting, basic settings, controlling area settings, and maintain controlling area settings. Okay, so profit center accounting, basic settings, controlling area settings, and maintain controlling area settings. So for SF01, it is still not active. You can see activate indicator is unticked. So we have to create a standard hierarchy. Again, let's create it as the same SF01. You have to specify the currency type, which is normally the controlling area currency. Okay, same, even in ECC, you will find the same thing. There is nothing new here. Just activate this indicator and click on save. So profit center accounting is now active. We should not get this error anymore. So let's close this. If you're not able to close, yeah, anyways, it's closed. So let's go back. Again, now you will be able to close because you've gone from this transaction. Okay, and now let's try to simulate and let's try to post. So finally, the document has been posted in company code SF01. So now if I want to see this document, what we do normally, we go for more, document, and display. Okay, FB03. So it is showing you this document. So document is posted with document number, this one, document date, reference, currency, nothing new. Okay, it is showing you which GL account was debit and which GL account was credit. If you want to change the layout, again same in SAP ECC. If you want to know multiple currencies, you can see amount in currency 2, amount in currency 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you have defined multiple currencies up to 8 currencies, you'll be able to see the details here. Okay, so let's say as of now, I just want to go with, okay, anyways, we have not activated multiple currencies, so there was only one currency. So you will see in the table directly. Okay, so that was about currency. You can change the layout as you were doing in SAP ECC. Now let's try to see what are the tables which are affected. Okay, so if I go for SE16N, BKPF, which are the tables that we were using in SAP ECC? Which tables were getting updated when you create any accounting document?
BKPF, BSEG.
BKPF and BSEG, right? BKPF was a table which was header table. Okay, so for company code SF01, if I execute this, so here it is called as online. So just click on online. It is still showing the data. So what was your understanding? Can you tell me whether this is correct or not? What have you heard till now? BKPF is available in S4HANA or it is gone?
Available.
Is it available in SAP S4HANA also? Then what is ACDoc? Why we need ACDoc? BKPF is available. You are correct. Okay, let's see. What about BSEG? BSEG is also available, or that is gone?
Available.
BSEG is also available. So if BKPF is also available, BSEG is also available, then what is the point in going for AC-Dock A? Why AC-Dock A? BSEG is also available. So what is the point of having AC-Dock K table?
AC
This is
doc will be used for all fresh implementation as well as even the existing projects also.
yeah. So definitely for fresh implementations as well as
The
current
existing,
system also.
yeah.
No, you mean to say in ECC you have AC-Dock A?
No, it's only in S4.
It's only in S4, but then what is the difference? So even BKPF and BSEG also are available in both, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me tell you this one. So as of now, again, why even I don't know, BKPF is still available. And the target of AC-Dock A is not to replace the main tables of SAP. It is not to replace the table BKPF and BSEG. It was trying to replace the new GL tables like Faggle Flexa. So earlier Faggle Flexa table was used, but now if you go for table Faggle Flexa, sorry, I just came out. So SE16N Faggle Flexa. Okay, so again, if I go for company code SF01 and go online, I'll be still able to see the data. Okay, so data is still available in SF01 also. Okay, but I'll tell you what is the difference between this Faggle Flexa and AC-Dock A. So Faggle Flexa, although it is appearing that it is available, the data is available, but actually speaking, there is no data, sorry, there is no table called as Faggle Flexa in SAP. It is in SAP S4HANA. It has been converted, as you can see here, it has been converted as a view. It is a compatibility view. I'll tell you what is a compatibility view and all, but this is no more the table, this is just a view. Okay, so in short, BKPF is available, BSEG is available, Faggle Flexa is not available, and new table which is incorporated is AC-Dock. So what is the difference between BSEG? See, BSEG is also giving us line level information. If I go for company code, yes, Akash. Okay, so if I go for table BSEG, I'm able to see two lines. But if I go for table AC-Dock A, okay, again same company code SF01, for the same document, I'm able to see how many lines? 4 lines. Okay, what is the difference between AC-Dock A and BSEG?
Leading
I
ledgers and
think
non-leading
I think difference is we can't in here S4 we can see OA 0L as well as IF. IFRS reporting also we can see here, but in ECC we can't see that this type of data.
No, the question is not ECC versus S4HANA. So even in ECC also, if you activated new GL accounting, you can get IFRS reporting from Faggle Flexa. Okay, but BSEG, even if you are using SAP ECC and you are using new GL accounting, BSEG only stores leading ledger data. Irrespective of whether you are working on ECC or S4HANA, your BSEG table will only hold leading ledger data. It will not hold any other data apart from leading ledger. Okay. In case of AC-Dock A, it is holding not only leading ledger, it is holding the data of each and every ledger. Okay, you can see it is holding the data for IFRS also. If you activate more number of ledgers, it will show you that much number of line items. Okay, and another benefit of using AC-Dock A is it is not only storing the data of headers, it is also storing the data of line in the same. So header data as well as line level data is available in table ACDoc-A. So ACDoc-A is a combination of BKPF and FagleFlexa. FagleFlexa has been replaced, but whatever content was available in SAP ECC in FagleFlexa, that will be now available in table ACDoc-A. Okay, let me show you one more thing now. So if I go for this document which we created, okay, in this document, if I go for document overview, what is document overview? Document overview will tell you how many documents were created when you created this document. So there may be the FI document, there may be the CO document, there may be a lot of documents which are created, right? So if you go to document environment and you go to accounting documents, you can see two documents were created, accounting document and CO document. Now in SAP ECC, whenever you create any accounting document, and if it is also creating controlling document, so the document number must be the proper number, like this one. This is a proper number, right? 1, 9 times or 8 times 0. But this is a dummy number. Controlling number, if you see, this is a statistical number. Dummy number. Why it is a dummy number? The reason is this one document number is enough for accounting and controlling now. You don't need separate document for accounting and separate document for controlling. In ECC, accounting document was different, controlling document was different. But now since both of them are merged, accounting document and controlling document is same document, this one. This is just for the statistical purpose. Okay, so even the controlling data, earlier for controlling data, we were going to tables like COSK, COSP, COSS. Now controlling data will be also available in ACDoc-A. Okay, so if you, for example, in BKPF and BSEG, it was not possible to find out this posting was happened to which cost center. But now, if you go to ACDoc-A table, you will be able to see even the cost center information, profit center information, controlling area, everything is available here. Okay, so not only FI data, ACDoc-A is also holding the CO data in the same table. So we don't need any separate tables for controlling. Okay, this is another benefit of ACDoc-A, one single table which is holding the data of FI and CO both. Okay, but please remember that in ACDoc-A table, the difference between BSEG and ACDoc-A is in BSEG, it will only show you leading ledger data, but in ACDoc-A, it will show you leading ledger as well as non-leading ledger data available here. Okay. Any questions? Let me show you one more thing. If I go to my ledger settings now, if you go to financial accounting, global settings, ledgers, ledger and define settings for ledgers and currency type. So earlier, if you remember, for company code SF01, you can see this currency was blank earlier. Okay, I told you this currency is nothing but controlling area currency. So when we create a controlling area, this currency will come automatically. So when we created a controlling area, system has automatically determined this global currency and CO object currency. Okay, these are default. 10 and 70 is, if you are using company code controlling area same as company code, this will be 10. Otherwise, it will be cross company code controlling. Okay, so controlling area currency will come here. This cost object currency will always remain same, 70, controlling object currency. Okay, any questions till now? Maybe last one, let me show you some tables for the master data. So just to avoid any kind of confusion, all the master data tables are as it is. So for example, you have for GL master, you have SKA1, table, right, for chart of account level. So if you specify the chart of account SF01, it will show you two GLs that we created. Okay, it will tell you whether it is a balance sheet account or a profit and loss. It will tell you even the GL account type. So these are the four options. So you will be still getting the data in SKA1 for chart of account level. For company code level, still you will be using SKB1. So for company code SF01, if you go for online, again you can see this information is available here. What were the tables for controlling cost elements? We created one cost element, right? Which were the tables for the cost elements? Anyone who remembers the table? It was CSKA, right? For chart of accounts. So chart of account is SF01 online. You can see even the cost element table is same. So CSKA, CSKB are still available. This is for the controlling area level. So SF01 and it will show you the data. Okay, this is by default. See, system is not asking us valid from valid date. This is something which is automatically getting stored in the background. By default, system is putting it from 1900 to 9999.
Gaurav, I hope BSIS table is gone, right?
Which one?
BSIS and BSAS table is gone.
Those are not the master tables. So BSIS, BSAS, if you try these tables, okay, and let's say if I go for company code SF01, you'll be still able to see the data. Data is still available, but these tables are actually no more available. They are converted as views. So what are we going to do tomorrow is I will show you how to check whether a particular table is still a table or it has been converted as a view. Okay, so BSAS, FagelFlexD, I'll show you some examples of the tables which are no more available as the tables, but they are converted as a view.
Gaurav, these view tables don't have don't store any data, right?
They don't store any data physically in the database, but from the reporting point of view, they are still available. You still can do the reporting on these tables.
Okay.
Yes. So that is something when we will discuss view, then you will come to know how SAP is able to give the reportings from this table, but it is not consuming even a single MB or single GB of data. Everything is blank. They are not consuming any memory in the system. Okay, any questions? If not, maybe we'll close today and we'll meet tomorrow with, we will complete this table level changes. We will talk about simplified data model. So whatever topic we are discussing, this is called a simplified data model. So what tables are available, what tables are gone. Okay, if the tables are gone, what will happen to my reports? All those things we will discuss tomorrow. And then let me just see what is our schedule for tomorrow. Can you see my screen now? Schedule. Okay. So currently we discussed introduction to universal journal table just now. Universal journal configuration, which consists of ledger and all. Parallel currency config we discussed. Master data we also discussed today. Extension ledger also we discussed, but we need to see some scenarios more in detail. Account versus ledger-based approach we discussed. This one we need to discuss. So CO document mapping variant. So there are few things which are pending here, like CO document mapping variant and all, and then we can go for new asset accounting. Okay, and yes, so maybe tomorrow itself we can start with new asset accounting. Tomorrow is what, Thursday, right? So maybe by, okay, anyways, let's go according to the plan. So we will continue in the same flow. We will tomorrow also we will verify if we covered everything till here before we start with new asset accounting. Okay, thank you all. We'll meet tomorrow, same time. Please join on time, because otherwise unnecessarily we will waste time for waiting for others. Please try to join exactly at 7:30. If you have any concerns, maybe we can plan it like this way, maybe 15-20 minutes. So 7:45, if you want, we can arrange according to that. 7:30 is fine with everyone, or you want me to keep it 15 minutes late? Okay, in that case, 7:30 is fine. We'll meet at the same time tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Gaurav.
Yeah, thanks, Gaurav. Bye.